Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a squat and deadlift day, and I'm continuing with what I've been doing. Going to mainly focus on lots of pause work, adding range of motion. This is my ramp up. I went ahead and went up 5 pounds on my top single today, so this is me doing like the 325 and 415, and then going up to 450 just using small plates. So I'm trying to get at least a good 3-second pause at the bottom. Obviously, when I'm doing a little bit of the back off pause work, I'm trying to sink it deeper. I let it sink me deeper because I'm stuck down there a longer time breathing. These are getting decently deep. I felt like the 450 was decently deep today. Now, do I want to continue to improve that? Of course I do. Of course I do. Also, keep in mind, guys, I'm doing conditioning work now. So some of this, the volumes may look a little low, but I'm going to build up into it now that I'm doing all this squatting again. Hey, I'm doing a lot more axial loading stuff, so the volumes are a little more moderate. But notice everything is deep, full ranges of motion. It's high bar squats, right? High bar squats, no belt, sinking them as deep as they'll go. All of that pause, other than the reps that I did. But I'm going to build the volume up. I'd said before I need to start just working on high bar squatting in general. It'll make me thicker. It'll make me fitter, more athletic. I'm probably going to continue to lean out here, so a little bit of that fluff around the waistline will probably start coming off, just because I'm adding conditioning work in, right? Adding conditioning work in. But that was a nice, good pause, right? That's 450. So I'm happy with that. It felt pretty heavy. I don't feel like I could have gone a lot heavier. So the goal is, the short-term goal is to get that up to 500. Let's just set the short-term goal for 505. That would be 5 plates on that bar, right? Deficits, I decided to go to a deeper deficit. I'm like, well, let's just double down on this range of motion stuff. Now I'm running into problems with the heat and the grip. My hands were really struggling, even though I completely dry my arms off and I put liquid grip and everything on. By the time I get over there, there's still sweat running down into my hands. Seems unavoidable. So I just did 500. I stopped at 4 reps because, again, it was just hell on my hands. But we know deficit work is harder on your grip. Now, a lot of people are unaware of that. So using the stiff bar, using the power bar, doing deficits. I was actually decently happy with 500 on this today because I did pause squat first. 4 reps. And I'll work off of that. I feel like I can build off that just fine. I can get plenty strong with 500 pounds on deficit pulls. Just done for reps. I'll probably eventually deadlift PR off that. The most I've ever hit so far has been 635. I'd like to get to a nice 300 kilo, but we'll work on it. All right, here I'm doing these for about 10 seconds. I did this for 10 seconds, came up, nice good burn in the quad, and I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and do some back off volume. Now I went with 325 because it's fairly tame, and I got to 10 reps and just did a nice pause on the 10th rep. I could have got more. I think we can look at the set and realize, yeah, it wasn't a limit set. That pause makes it nice though, and the thing is, I'm also doing the sled work right now, so I'm just gonna build this up. And I understand a lot of people would look at today's workout and go, it wasn't a lot of volume. But number one, keep in mind those pause squats matter. Now, some of this, I'm looking at this and I feel like I'm sinking these reps, but now that this is the first time I've seen the footage, by the way. I've just loaded this in, and I'd like to see these deeper. I'd like to see these deeper. I feel like all the pause work has been deeper. I'll work on it, right? I'll work on sinking these ass to grass for the rep work. Now, I still got a good pump in the quads. Happy with it. I feel like this is actually enough to grow on. Especially did a nice little good pause on the last rep. Keep in mind I did the pause work first, so that kind of accentuates the set a lot because my quads really got stretched. They got loaded doing that. And then I finished off with reverse hypers. Now I'm going to keep the volumes a little lower on these because I'm just taking these to almost limit sets now. I've added weight to it. And it's like I got 25 plus reps on both of these. I lost count. When you're at a point where you're just losing count, you just go till it burns. I think we're in a good place. Now, some people will say, is this enough stuff for you to do for your lower body? I'm like, yeah, with sled work it is. I'm doing, pause squats, normal squats, some long pause in there. Deficit deadlifts. Deficit deadlifts make me grow like a weed. And then just some high rep reverse hypers. Now, I'm going to build off of this though. I feel like these volumes do need to come up. I will eventually work on some front squats. And this is actually enough stuff for my posterior chain. My hamstrings are crazy strong. Right? Hamstrings are not a problem for me. They don't limit my performance at all. I'm real strong on them, and now that I'm not doing the glute ham raises, they're not cramping on me. I could come in and do deficit deadlifts and reverse hypers in my posterior chain. Will probably be fine. Probably be fine. I can eventually work good mornings in like I did last time. Some good mornings. I can work some glute ham raises in as I feel like. But right now, I feel like even just getting better at squats and even front squats will help my deadlift. Okay. And the deficit work builds my deadlift. I'm not that worried. Not that worried about it. So lets me put more focus into my squatting, into all my benching muscles, all this other stuff that I need. I need to get thicker. I need to get my conditioning more on point. I need to get leaner, bigger, leaner, in better shape. It's going to be the name of the game. All right. And I'll loop this in so that we can get a decent length vlog. Otherwise, this would be a 6-minute vlog. As I continue to add volume. Now, as I add more squat sets, that's going to change. Now, one of the things I noted, and people are aware of this, I do need to get my grip better on the bar. But that's also because of the mobility problems I've had. I will get this to a point now I can actually get my hand around it. I will get this to a point to where I can get a good solid grip around the bar. That's kind of one of the next goals. Once I get there, I'll be in a real good place. So it's something I need to continue to work on as I've continued to do the shoulder mobility, the pullovers, the dead hangs, all that stuff. Okay, it's getting my shoulders healthy enough to do this. Now keep in mind with high bar, that's a lot easier. All right, it's a lot easier. So things to work on. Of course, Jamie Lewis wants me, if you guys saw on Instagram, he's mentioned to me several times. He's always like, you're going to get ringworm, you're going to get parasites, put shoes on. It's kind of funny. I think it's comical. Just an FYI. It's been an ongoing thing for those who saw that on Instagram. Just a point of amusement. But I may throw eventually my weightlifting shoes on. I have a couple pairs of weightlifting shoes. Since I'm doing Olympic style squats, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It might even help me get deeper on that rep work. But that's going to be the goal. That's the short-term goal. 500 pounds paused, full squat, right? Like this. That's the goal. That's what we need to shoot for, and then we go up from there.